I now declare the special council meeting open at 16:11. The City of Busselton acknowledges the Wardandi and Bibbulmun people as the traditional custodians of this region and pays respect to their elders, past and present. Thank you for joining us in person today. This is a formal meeting of the City of Busselton and certain protocols apply. The meeting is being live streamed and recorded to ensure an accurate and official record. We kindly ask that you do not record, photograph or take videos during the proceedings, as the official recording will be made available. I understand that you may hear matters you strongly agree or disagree with. However, as invited members, we ask that you respect the formal nature of this meeting by refraining from making comments, chattering or applauding during the proceedings. This helps to maintain an environment where business can be conducted efficiently and respectfully, and I thank you for your cooperation. In attendance, myself, Mayor Cronin, Deputy Mayor Kate Cox, Councillor Mueller, Councillor McNeish, Councillor Dykstra, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Adams and Councillor Kennedy, and we have a leave of absence from Councillor Michaela Love. Item 3 is the purpose of this meeting. The purpose of this meeting is for the Council to consider as a matter of urgency the motions related to the wind turbines raised at the annual general meeting of electors held on the 2nd of February 2026. I have no disclosures of interest. We move on to public question time. In accordance with the City's meetings, information sessions and decision-making process, Council policy, public question time will be allocated a minimum 15 minutes. I request that members of the public asking questions are only allowed questions related to the purpose of this meeting. So I repeat, the purpose of this meeting is for the Council to consider as a matter of urgency the motions related to the wind turbines raised at the annual general meeting. And obviously I ask you to minimise your preamble. Are there any questions from the public with regards to the items on this agenda? Ms Bennett, would you like to come forward? State your name and where you're from for the record.
Jane Bennett from Busselton. Just in regards to the format of the meeting, if we've got a motion on the agenda, do we get to speak at that time?
The motion in front of us is well, it's not individual, is it? No, it's for us to receive the motion as received.
So we don't get to comment or talk about it or give any information?
Take on advice.
There is the opportunity for you, as an interested party, you formally moved one of those four motions, so you could register with the Mayor to speak for a maximum of 5 minutes when he calls forward.
Thank you. Would that be something that you could consider?
Yes, I'll consider that.
Thank you.
Cheers. Another question. Mr Mason, isn't it, I believe? Yes. Please come forward, state your name and where you're from. Thank you. Kaya.
Mason Jones, Wardandi man. I'm not restricted by council boundaries. You don't talk on my country.
I would like to just go back up to the top where it's asked.
Sorry,
if you...
just to be clear at this point, it's question times.
Yep,
So
it's a question about your document up the top here.
Okay.
So can we go back up to the top of this document?
As in
To the
the
point
motion?
where it says that there's no interest in the presentation of this document. So you have no interest? The council has no interest? Do you just have renewable energy tied into Busselton?
Interests fall under a number of categories, which
So,
is location and
does the City of
financial.
Busselton use
Please,
renewable
Mr.
energy?
Please, Mr Mason. No, if I've asked for councillors to declare an interest, and if they don't, they don't have
But
to.
does the City of Busselton use renewable energy at all?
This isn't a decision of the City of Council, it's a decision of the Council.
But if you use renewable energy, you do have an interest because you're already
I've
using
answered your
renewable
question.
energy.
Sorry, I've answered your question. Mr CEO,
It's a
if you'd like
valid
to add some
point.
comments,
Thank you,
please.
Mr Mason. The provisions of the legislation for the declarations of interest doesn't relate to the interest you're talking about. This relates to the provisions of the Local Government Act, which is interest of conflict or a financial interest.
Well, it would be an interest of conflict
No, it
if you
can't. I'm
hold...
telling you that this is the provisions of the legislation, and that's what we have to adhere to.
Righto, so if you just don't have no... Why can't you answer no if you aren't connected to any renewable energy, clean energy?
Mr.
It seems you are quite defensive about it, because I think you have stuff tied into
That
them.
question has been answered.
Thank you. So I myself believe you have an interest, and this document you have prepared is invalid.
Sure. Thank you very much. Cheers. Are there any more questions? If not, I will move on to... Sorry, you have a question. Please come forward, mention your name and where you're from.
So this is
Sorry,
actually...
your name and...
Yep, Darren Glover from Ambergate.
Thank you.
So this is a reiteration of last week. So it is a question. So in light of the information that has been presented to the City of Busselton at the recent AGM and special electors meeting held on the 24th of April 2024 regarding the proposed wind turbine area in Geograph Bay, we at Barra are very concerned about the welfare and safety of our community. We request the City of Busselton apply a precautionary principle and on our behalf investigate and take the necessary steps to prevent all potential risks and harm.
What is your question,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Glover? Thank you.
The
Do you have a question?
question is that are you prepared to take the necessary steps to instigate precautionary principle in this matter? That's my question.
Mr. CEO.
The council will make its determination. When they make that determination, you'll be able to tell by the commentary they make whether they've adhered to that or not.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? If not, I'll move on to item 6, which is presentations by parties with an interest, and I have one request for that, and that's Martine Shepherd, and obviously Ms Bennett as well. So, Martine, you've got 5 minutes to... Oh, you're online, I believe. Sorry.
I thought it was 15 minutes.
5 minutes.
Change it on the day, don't you?
It's not a deposition. It's not a deposition. Thank you. I think I've clearly said this is a meeting of council. You are observers. Thank you. Ms Bennett, do you wish to come forward first, if that's okay, while we're sorting this out?
Sounds like a dictatorship to me.
All right. I was just waiting for silence. Thank you.
Am I going now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I just thought it was quite interesting. When I arrived and parked over the road, I saw a snake-necked turtle nest fenced off by, I'm assuming, the council, right across from the rooms. And I thought, isn't that great? We're looking after our environment and our creatures. So we'll just park that aside, and whilst we think about how that applies to this motion. So unfortunately, I only found out at 1 o'clock that my motion was being addressed, and I would have liked to have sent some information to the councillors, but I'm mindful that we don't want to overwhelm you as well. So I'm just going to read out some information from an article that I found. And it was written in 2024, a UK Energy Research Centre, a research program on the global impact of offshore wind farms on ecosystem services. To summarise the article and read a few points, it states that the effects of offshore wind farms on ecosystem services are unknown. This is a concern. The article also states large data gaps. The construction impacts are predominantly negative, with strong negative trends to some fish and bird species. And such a rapid transition risks a wide range of unintended negative environmental consequences, both locally and across the world. So there are concerns over potential impacts of offshore wind turbine installations on the local environment, which have been increasingly reported in a number of studies and include habitat loss, collision risks, noise and electromagnetic field impacts, introduction of invasive species and visual or aesthetic impacts, which may affect both human and animal populations. As the size and scale of offshore wind increases, the risks significantly are cumulative and expected to increase. So negative impacts of offshore wind on many marine populations remain unclear, and there's poor understanding, which is cited. There's no peer-reviewed studies that empirically assessed decommissioning of offshore wind. And importantly, this study only involved 4 European countries in 2022 at the time that were operating. Negative EMF and acoustic effects were also recorded on sensitive species, particularly American lobster and crab. And there's mounting evidence globally that artificial structures, both coastal and offshore, function as prime sites for colonisation by invasive or exotic species. Such impacts will also be accompanied by loss of human wellbeing, with many individuals intrinsically valuing megafauna simply for knowing that they exist and are conserved, even if they never directly experience them. There's many more things. I'll send the article because I don't want to run out of time. So I just thought, in reference to the tourism, that Busselton is becoming so widely known for across the world. It is a very valuable, important part of our community, and I think we need to really remind ourselves of that if we do move into this realm of offshore wind. There's an on-land wind turbine factory in Flat Rocks, which is borders the Shire of Broomhill and Kojonup. I've spoken to councillors and farmers from that area over a period of about a year. It is across 4 farms, and it was commissioned in 2010. I think it was running in 2023, over 6,840 hectares. The concerns that were raised around this and have really ramped up since 2023, this is with the advice from council in these areas, or some of the areas that I've spoken to, that a cautionary approach should be taken, and other shires do have experience that would help decision making, with the hope of reducing community division. That was one of the key problems that the fallout that they've had since this turbine factory was installed. They also mentioned long, costly and the time-consuming process for the Shire to sort out a mess that could have been avoided with good planning. So I would like to, that sticks to the motion, which is 11 Great Southern and Wheatbelt Shires in WA, that we join that alliance, and there's a wider 40 Shire country local government renewable alliance.
Okay, thank you. No, I'm not doing extensions, thank you. We've got other people to talk, so, okay, thank you. Thank you. We have, do you wish to leave?
What are you going to make me leave? Who's going to kick me out? I'll make this stance. How corrupt you are.
All right. I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Councillors, I'm adjourning the meeting. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. I'll recommence this meeting at 16:32, and we have Martine Shepherd, who wishes to present as an interest for the party. Can you hear us, Martine? We can't hear you. Sorry, Martine's on mute. We can't hear you.
I'm not.
There we are, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. Martine, you've got
Okay.
5 minutes to present to councillors.
Okay. Before I would like to just make mention of the amendment of what the motion was. Have you received that update?
No, I've not received any amendments.
Okay. So I would like to just quickly, before I go into the motion, just talk about the agenda outline that was put out today, and one of your officers was put down as a consideration of motion 1 as a response prior to the meeting. And it states in there, the motion and supporting material is not technically substantiated and appears to be reliant on media articles. Actually, this statement is false, so I would like it removed, and I'll give you the reason why, and actually retracted, and maybe an apology, because if you look on page 4 of the evidence the information I gave at the first motion put forward at the AGM, on page 4 down the bottom, the evidence and images are from a National Academy of Science in the USA. So they're actually from a report from the USA, from the National Academy of Science. And the website's there, so whoever your officer was didn't look at the correct information. So it's not just from an article, it's actually from a whole report, so that's not correct. And then on page 3, the statement saying that the Department of Interior in the US and the Department of War and Defence is halting offshore wind for radar interference. That's actually a formal media statement by the US government. So that's neither a media article, that's actually a formal statement from the USA government and the Department of War. So unless you're saying that the Department of Defence in the US is making false information that's not technically correct, which is what your officer has said here, that there's not technically substantiated to say that this is true, to go based on what I've said. So would like that retracted, because that's not true.
Okay. That would be an alternate if that were the case. So.
Yeah, so is that officer present right now?
This is your chance to present to council. So.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you then.
You've got 2.5 minutes still to present to council. It's not a question time.
Oh, no, I said that the motion, the information you put down was incorrect. But what I'm saying here is
the
that
councillors
wasn't
have
the
heard
meaning of
that.
my motion.
The elected members have heard your. Continue, please continue.
So the reasoning behind asking the City of Busselton on behalf of its electors, residents and ratepayers to write to the following stakeholders. You have all of that list, and I'll provide it again if there's a problem. There are so many departments: Department of Fire, Emergency Services, Department of Deputy Prime Minister, all the way down to the US Consul General, Ms. Colleen Allstock, that the correspondence seeks an official corresponding addressing the following concerns. What assessments have been made and undertaken regarding potential radar interference, radar scatter associated with offshore wind turbines, particularly in relation to defence and surveillance radar, civil and military aviation safety, maritime navigation and vessel safety, and aerial firefighting and search and rescue operations, whether such risk have been assessed in relation to the proposed offshore wind developments in Geograph Bay, and if so, whether the findings, including mitigation plans, will be made publicly available. What mitigation measures were required or proposed to address any identified risks, and whether the relevant defence, aviation, emergency services authorities consider those measured sufficiently, that those responses received be reported back to the council. I have a lot of reasons I'd go on to, but unfortunately I've come into information and evidence that shows that it's most important that the council act on our behalf. This is an excerpt from a Senate estimate in our federal government from October 2025, where Senator Malcolm Roberts has asked CASA, the Civil Aviation Safety Authority,
You have 30
if they
seconds
have
remaining.
consulted on.
Thank you.
I've waited 45 minutes in the background to do this.
Sorry.
I don't know how else to simplify this.
Sorry. It's a 5-minute presentation and that we've got to process. We have another council meeting after this as well. So
Maybe if you could stop interrupting me, that would be.
well, I'll give you another 30 seconds.
How about a minute would be fair?
I'll give you 30
I've
seconds.
done a lot of research.
You're wasting your time now.
So the Civil Aviation, can you stop interrupting me, please? Thank you. When he asked the Civil Aviation Safety Authority if they consulted on the wind turbines and their impact on aviation, CASA said that responsibility comes back to local councils on the effect on their communities. When the Senate estimates on Hansard by Senator Taran Whitten on the 3rd of the 12th, 2025, asked the Department of Defence the following. When asked, has anyone in the Department of Defence studied the effects of offshore wind on marine vessels? She said, I'll take it on notice, but they haven't done research. When asked, are you aware that Sweden has stopped 13 offshore wind turbines, as well as the US, because of radar interference? She replied, no, I was not aware of any of that. If our own defence departments are not aware or done investigations, this is why we must do our own due diligence from local, state, all the way to federal, and I'm not backing back on any of this, regardless of what the council says, because I'll be holding all accountable for their lack of due diligence.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. Okay. We now move on to, if you want to make a mockery of this chambers, keep going. I did ask you politely at the start. We now move on to the item. Item 7, response to the motions carried at the annual general meeting of electors. The item in front of you with the officer's recommendation. Do I have a mover? Moved, Councillor Ryan. Do I have a seconder? Seconded, Councillor McNeish. Is there opposition? Being well, okay, just do you wish to put the motion as put first? Okay, so we've got, is there opposition? Being no opposition, but what's your amendment, please?
My amendment is that
Sorry, can you put your microphone on?
that the names that I've supplied, staff and departments, are added to the list of people that we write to.
I actually believe this to be substantially different from the motion, so this would have to be an alternative motion.
Okay, I'm moving on to alternate then.
Thank you.
I'll come in on a point of order there, sir, and respectfully request the council vote to dissent from your ruling just then. Because
Sure, okay. So, first time this happened to me. So I need a seconder for that dissent. Councillor Kennedy, you second it? Okay, can I just put it to the motion? Yeah. I'll put that dissent to the motion. All those in favour? So that's Councillor McNeish,
So we're voting for dissent?
Dissent, which means my ruling is overridden. So 4 is Councillor Manish, Councillor Ryan and Councillor Kennedy. Those against? Mayor Cronin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Mueller, Councillor Dykstra and Councillor Adams. The motion is lost 3-5.
So I will move it as an alternate.
Thank you. Yep.
So my alternate will be, so 1 is...
Sorry, 2 seconds. Yeah, we are debating. Yes. So just for clarity, we are debating the substantive motion in front of us, and should this fail, your alternate will be put forward. Thank you. Councillor McNeish, do you wish to speak to this motion?
Yeah, so seconder, I can speak to this motion, and I will do.
Am I allowed to speak on it first, since I moved it?
Yeah, you took your seat, but if you wish to speak to this motion, you can.
Well, we were deliberating on things, but I'd actually like to speak, if I may. Sorry, Councillor McNeish.
I'll reserve my right then, sir.
Thank you.
This motion kind of does what the intent was. However, it's not specifically specified, is that right terminology, who we should write to. And my investigation into the matter has been quite in-depth. This is a serious issue. And the reason why I will be asking for a succinct group of people to be notified is because, as Martine elaborated earlier, is that CASA have been basically said in Senate estimates that it is not their role to make the policy, but it is their role to advise what the issues are as far as aviation's concerned. It's probably not worthwhile going into what radar scatter is, but I noticed that one of the people that's been missing off the list is the American embassy, if you like. Why are they important? We've got AUKUS. AUKUS is going to happen just up the road in Rockingham, and she is one of the people who are working in relation to what's going on with AUKUS. And if we don't understand what radar scatter is going to do, and if we don't get the information from those people that we're suggesting, how are we going to get the whole picture? So, councillors, I'm simply asking that the letter be widened for a larger group of agencies, not just government rhetoric. We want government agencies to tell us what is being asked. We want to know if our community is going to be safe when there's a bushfire or when there's a ship or whatever it is, because radar and sonar are a big issue. We want to know. This doesn't cut the mustard, and I will be voting against it. And if necessary, I will be moving an alternate. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Councillor McNeish.
Thanks, sir. From time to time, the community does bring us some very good information that our members probably may not have been aware of. And I certainly wasn't aware of this, and the prospect of what could happen in our own backyard is considerable. So it's time to stop and appreciate just what might be, hopefully perhaps not, but it is contingent upon the council, I believe, to send away for new information, to ask questions on behalf of the community who has prepared and presented this matter in an appropriate forum, the annual general meeting of electors, and here it is in front of us. So the process has been followed, and it's legitimate to this point where we need to, the legitimacy exists with enough information that's been referenced, that's come forward, that I believe we should follow up on it. And in so doing, we might learn more of the effects of wind turbines, not only in a marine environment, but what might be occurring on land. And certainly we should be accessing the collective knowledge of the other local government authorities who have had more experience with wind turbine farms in their proximity. So that's definitely a real bonus that we can, we've been alerted to that and should do that. And simply as a human being, we all have a natural frequency. Things in nature operate on frequencies. Electromagnetic radiation is a reality. Marine animals work with their sonar. So this is real. And if it's got national security ramifications, then certainly why wouldn't we just right away to alert and increase our knowledge on this matter? And I support the extra list of contacts as well to do this. And just in closing, this might lead to an awareness of if wind turbines don't eventuate in the marine environment in the Geograph Bay, and the power needs or the power projections of the state government by 2040 are that 70% of the source of that power is from renewables. Well, if not solar, then wind, or it would be a combination of the two. If the wind turbines aren't happening out there, where will they be? And if the effects of the wind turbines are, as we might discover, that permeates onto land somewhere in the southwest to connect to the Swiss, which is the grid. Wouldn't it be interesting to find out what Western Power or AEMO's plans are to get that lead time happening, positioning their renewables to source or replace the coal-fired power that the government has said it is phasing out? Wouldn't that be very interesting? So I think this is very worthwhile, and we should write to those extra people. Well done, Councillor Ryan, and I commend you to support her foreshadowed motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mick, please. Councillor,
May I ask a question, please?
Point of clarification?
Motion 4 that the electors put forward, could that be considered at the next ordinary council meeting?
Motion 4.
Mm-hmm.
Independently pulled out from this motion.
Yes.
Well, should an alternate?
And that is in relation to the collaboration of the shires.
Take it on advice.
Sorry, could you just repeat the question, Councillor Wright?
Well, motion 4 is in the document. Staff have commented on it, but it's not in this officer recommendation. So I'm suggesting that rather than we deliberate on that tonight, that we can actually defer it to the next council meeting as per all the other motions put forward at the electors' meeting.
Yes, it could.
Okay. Councillor Adam.
Point of clarification.
Sure.
Obviously, agree with Councillor Ryan, but wasn't this a matter of urgency?
No.
We defer it? This is not a matter of urgency?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. Do I have a speaker?
And another point of clarification, if I may.
Councillor Kennedy.
Thank you. Can I see the foreshadowed motion on screen, just so I can consider that? Thank you.
It's on screen. Yeah. If I might, Mr Mayor.
Sorry, Mr CEO. Got some comment.
Essentially, councillors, it's motions 1, 2 and 3 in the recommendation and then adding additional names. So it's as per the recommendation
No.
with then the list of names.
So it's the 4 motions plus held within this motion. So
Three
the fourth
motions,
motion-
the fourth will go to the next meeting.
All right, so that would be your foreshadowed, that the 4 motions.
If that's what I have to do, I'm happy to do so.
So receive the 3 motions, or the first 3.
Through the chair, can I also suggest that added to that is receive the first 3 motions and request that the 4th motion be considered at the next ordinary council meeting?
Okay.
Add that to the end and that's part of your alternative. If that gets up, then that's what we can do.
Councillors aware of the foreshadowed motion?
A moot point at the next ordinary council meeting in about an hour's time.
Good point.
Good, but not
25th
that
of
good.
February.
265th of February. Right. We won't pick on your typing skills. Any further points? Councillor Adams?
Because I'm not that smart, through the chair. So today we are voting on what came by the ratepayers as per, and
We're
then
going back to the substantive motion.
okay, going back, and then
Yeah.
we will
And should that,
pass. We will then,
or not pass,
Or-
should it fail?
if it should fall, we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I got it now.
not be
Thank you.
carried. Sure. So, councillors, I remind you, we are now on the substantive motion in front of you. We've had a speaker, 2 speakers for, the mover and the seconder. Is there a speaker against? Being no speaker against, there's no rebuttal. Speaker for, sorry. Oh, yeah, you wish to speak. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, guys, I think we should vote for this one. Whilst we can acknowledge that as a local government, we have no say whatsoever in the decisions that will be made for the wind farm. Our only role is advocacy. I think it's really important that we recognise that even if there's 41 electors that were here for when this motion was carried, that it's more than that in our community that are concerned with this. And it's important that we represent them and use our voice to amplify theirs, through as a local government. So I encourage you guys to do this. As far as adding in these extra names, I'll leave you guys to do it. I think that maybe we shouldn't do that because it was put forward by the community, voted for by the electors of this community, and we should let them decide what goes into this and not try and take it over and put more than what they suggested into it. Like I said, their voice, let's amplify it, let's leave it as it is and not add to the list of names. So yeah, I reckon we should vote for it and get it done.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mueller. Speaker against? Speaker for? Sorry, you're speaking against?
Yeah, I'll speak against.
Okay.
I'm speaking against this in favour of the foreshadowed motion. Elected members, we need to be mindful of resources and jurisdiction. Now, the resources aren't that heavily expended on sending letters to the relevant ministers, and community members have also done the groundwork, and Councillor Ryan has done a bit more extra and identified those extra ministers, and it's not too resource intensive to notify them of what's happening in our community. So in that, I'm in favour of not voting for this one and allowing the foreshadowed alternative through. Thank you, elected members.
Speaker for? Speaker against? Councillor Ryan, your rebuttal.
Thank you. Councillor Mueller, we do have say in wind turbines in Geograph Bay. The woeful community consultation that happened, I believe it was a number of years ago now, it was disgraceful. And this community didn't get a rightful say in what happened at that consultation. If you have a look at the website, it says that local governments and Wardandi are supposed to be consulted, and I think that was Mr Mason's problem tonight, is where was the Wardandi's consultation in all of this? Extra names, well, all I did was expand on what Martine put forward in the motion, and I researched it to the nth degree, because all of those people that I'm recommending will have a say, such as CASA, and Martine once again talked about the what the senator had to say in Senate estimates. Malcolm Roberts and CASA did respond with, they need to make, they don't make policy, but they do respond. I'm not adding in more than what the community wants, and I have been consulting with Martine, who had no problems with adding in these extra people. And as I said before, the US Consular General in Perth is involved in AUKUS. We're all involved in AUKUS. So I think there's some really relevant reasons why this one should fall over, and also the issue of consulting with the other councils is really important. What are they doing that we don't know about? So I think I'm glad that that one will hopefully be deferred to the next meeting, and then I think we can discuss it more. Radar interference is a huge issue, and if you do any research whatsoever, it comes up that it's a very real thing. The issue of radar scatter is a minefield. There are a number of countries, USA, France, Germany, Sweden, Germany, have all either knocked these wind turbines on the head or have severely changed the licences of them. We are in a really sticky situation right now as far as the world's concerned. When you look at why is AUKUS being brought in, adopted?
I'm giving you a little leniency
I know
on this.
you have. I know you have. And I'm just
It's
trying
a rebuttal, so I will ask you now.
I'm trying to explain why
It
my
sounds more like debate.
alternate motion should actually be
Thank you.
adopted.
Cheers.
So, councillors, I urge you to vote against the staff recommendation and vote for my alternate. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Therefore, councillors, I put the substantive motion in front of you to the vote. All those in favour? That's Mayor Cronin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Mueller and Councillor Adams. Those against? Councillor McNeish, Councillor Dykstra, Councillor Ryan and Councillor Kennedy. I have the deciding vote. I'll vote with the same way, so voting for. So the motion's carried 5-4. Thank you. That's no other business. I now close the meeting, declare the meeting closed at 17:01, and I thank everyone for their attendance. Thank you very much. Sure. Well, 5 minutes.